microphones here. One second. Good afternoon. This is Gabriel Sanchez, B.A.N founder, author, actor, and also poet laureate of the city of McAllen, Texas. And I'm here to give an update on the current challenge that I started 2 weeks ago now, the McAllen Napkin Challenge, which is going great. A lot of people actually responding, participating, and I look forward to seeing more submissions. Remember, there is a book in the works which you can be a part of, even if you've never published, even if if you're not an author, a writer, if you're not a poet. This challenge is not about writing poetry per se. It's about writing messages that we leave behind for other people in our community to find. That's the point of the challenge, to leave messages that could be of encouragement. It could be positive thinking, positive words, a prayer, a compliment, or just good vibes thrown out there for somebody to find randomly. So what you do is whenever you go out to in public, to a restaurant, park, the grocery store, the guitar center, wherever you're out and about, take a napkin with you and a pen, a pencil, or find something to write on that is not vandalizing the property, of course, and write a note, something for you to leave behind so somebody can find and leave it behind. But before you leave, take a picture of the note that you wrote and post it to your social media and use the hashtag McAllen Napkin Challenge, hashtag Gabriel Hugo Poet Laureate, and hashtag McAllen Poet Laureate. That'll make it very easy and helpful for anybody to go and search up what has been posted in connection to this challenge. So if anybody watching is interested in checking out the different posts, just for instance, you can go on. I'm on Facebook right now, checking some of these messages that people have left behind, and you can just go on the search bar and type in McAllen Napkin Challenge, and the posts will come up right there. I want to read one or a couple of them that I saw over the weekend, last weekend, that were posted. This one it was beautifully made by a person named Tara Ochoa, a friend of mine on Facebook, and she went out of her way to make it a very, very beautiful note with a drawing of reeds or feathers, leaves and branch. And then she put a little like wildflower stem and rocks. And she went all out. And so the note says, yes, you are a work of art. No one can be who you are meant to be. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You are not a mistake. You are made on purpose. And she put her byline in the bottom. And then she drew some hearts and circles. And she went all out. So you don't have to go all out, but the more you customize it, the better it looks, right? Because ultimately, like I said before, these submissions will be considered for publication. And the way I'm looking at it is, I'm thinking we could probably put all the um, submissions directly onto the book instead of transcribing. So it'll be a book of pictures of these posts. Of course, because to be able to transcribe everything, I would need people to come back and give me the typed out version of it, and that's going to be a little too much trouble for everybody. So I'm thinking if we do go ahead with the book, if we get enough submissions, we'll post the submissions as they are, as you leave them. So take a good picture, make sure they're legible. When you write them, make sure you take your time to write it nicely. I mean, I don't want to give you too much work. I mean, like I said, the point of the whole project is community, is to reach out to have our community feel a lot more connected, uh, and also to take poetry and the spirit of poetry out to the public and make it available the way it's supposed to be, because poetry is around us every day. Every day you live, you're creating poetry. Every time you interact with your loved ones or with something that you love doing, you're creating poetry. You're doing poetry. We are living poems, each and every one of us. Um, so I want to put that out there in the public so that the public can have that sense of greater connectedness and also presence of art in our lives, because art is in our lives all day long, every day. But sometimes we forget. Sometimes we are led to believe that certain things are particular only to certain places. Poetry and literature for the institutions of higher learning, or libraries or coffee shops. Um, Music, only in music venues, or only by certain people who are talented, nobody else. No, art is universal and available to all and every one of us, uh, has the potential to create. And that's what poetry is, something that we all can create, we all have access to it. And so the more we put it out there in public, the more that feeling grows of connectedness and also availability of that channeling of our abilities, our natural abilities to create. That's what I want to transmit. That's what the whole point is. But we will consider doing a book if we have enough poems and submissions, not just poems, like I said, any, just thoughts, prayers, words of encouragement, everything works. Whatever you feel, creatively speaking, that is what you are inspired to contribute. So I want to read one more submission. Um, this one is by a person. Well, actually, Tara, the same person that I just wrote that read. She did a second one, which that's another point. You can submit multiple poems or notes, because again, the point is to go out there and populate our surroundings, our environment, with these random thoughts for people to find. So the more you're out there doing it, the more chances some random person is going to be able to find something like this and be like, wow, what is this all about, right? And spread the inspiration like that, spread the art and spread the inspiration. So Tara went out of her way to do, I think it was three, but this is another one that I found. It says, remember, be still. When life is loud, take a moment to capture the prisms of light in nature. Where there is light, there is life. So, a uh, beautiful words. And she takes she goes out of her way to stage the note. She left it on what looks like a stump of a tree with a rock next to it and a little twig holding it down, hold down the note. I mean, she's a very creative person, and I appreciate that a lot. So thank you, Tara. Again, if you're watching, if you're wondering what it's all about, that's what it's about. It's just you write a note and you leave it somewhere in public. Whoa. So you leave it in public and for somebody, some random person to find, and that way we spread the poetry, we spread the positive messages, we create community, a closely knit, more closely knit community. So that's what it's about. I got one by David Lopez, and this one says, "Every day." Whoa, wait a minute. This one's kind of small. Let me see if I can get a different picture here. Oh, and by the way, Tara did it correctly, which is including all the hashtags. Hashtag McAllen Napkin Challenge. Hashtag Gabriel Hugo Poet Laureate. Hashtag McAllen Poet Laureate. So I appreciate that very much. You can put it on the note, but especially primarily use those hashtags on the description of the video online on any platform you're on. This one by David Lopez says, "Every day we question is we if we are blessed when many around the world deal with unrest. We take our small blessings for granted, not realizing that God has us firmly planted. Don't stress about tomorrow, for our time is borrowed. Live life at your best and let God's word manifest." Beautiful poem right there. A beautiful poem right there by David Lopez, and he included again the hashtags, which I appreciate very much. It makes it very easy for me to find you. And those are just a couple of examples of what people are doing. Like I said, if you wanna look up these posts yourself and see, get a sense if you're interested in trying it out too. Get a sense of how to do it or what they're doing. Just go on the search, like for instance, on Facebook, go on the search bar and type in McAllen Napkin Challenge, and you'll get. That's why I need all these hashtags so that it's easy for anybody, myself included, of course.